Good evening. It was a deadly weekend on area highways. Two separate crashes killed 3 people. One of the crashes happened near Maidstone Saturday night. Now, police say alcohol and speed played a role in the single vehicle crash. RCMP say 3 people were in the vehicle when the driver lost control and rolled into the ditch. The driver and front passenger were thrown from the vehicle and died on scene. A second passenger was brought to the Lloydminster hospital with undetermined injuries. Now, the vehicle was westbound headed from Birch Lake to Lloydminster. Highway 16 was closed for about 8 hours while police investigated. Meanwhile, alcohol and speed are also considered factors in a fatal rollover in Unity early Saturday morning. The crash happened shortly after 2, just a few hundred meters from the Unity Health Centre. RCMP say the 25-year-old driver died at the scene after he was thrown from the vehicle. Now, the man's name has not been released out of respect to his family. Mounties say roads were dry and in good condition at the time of the crash. Cold Lake RCMP continued to search for a man wanted in connection with Friday's early morning shooting outside a condo building in that city. Now, Miguel Angel Alvarado is still on the run from police after a 30-year-old man was flown to an Edmonton hospital suffering from multiple gunshot wounds.
We are following up on tips as they come in. He does have connections in the city, so we've been working with Edmonton Police Service. They've been helping us out on that, as well as all the other local detachments.
A warrant has been issued for attempted murder with a firearm. Meanwhile, the victim is still recovering from his injuries.
The victim is in stable condition at the University of Alberta Hospital and remains there until such time. We haven't heard of any time for he's going to be released, but he is doing okay.
Alvarado is considered to be armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Meanwhile, Cold Lake RCMP are still searching for the body of a 35-year-old man who fell out of his boat early last week. Now, the victim and a woman were boating near the eastern shore of Cold Lake when both fell overboard. The female managed to get back into the boat. Unfortunately, the man was not able to, and he went under.
We've been actively patrolling the lake on our own. We've had air services out, we've had our helicopter over top, and we've had the dive team out all weekend, and to date they have had no success in locating him.
RCMP are using the tragic accident to remind boaters how quickly things can go wrong and to make sure you follow all proper safety precautions while out on the water.
We really want to see people have a good time and be safe out there. You have personal flotation devices. Refrain from drinking and be aware of your surroundings in the lake. That's a big lake out there, and when the weather changes, that lake can get very dangerous at times.
RCMP say in the next couple of days they will be reevaluating whether they will continue with their search. People from around the region came together over the weekend with the hopes of one day putting an end to cancer. Although this year's Relay for Life in Lloydminster didn't raise as much money as last year, the border city holds its own compared to other larger centers. Kim Smith has the final numbers.
Relay for Life is the Canadian Cancer Society's signature event. This weekend, about 600 participants, 150 volunteers, and 180 survivors were out at Bud Miller Park for the overnight walkathon.
We couldn't ask for any better weather, and obviously we were very fortunate this year, being the 13th year of Relay for Life in Lloydminster. That lucky 13 was definitely lucky.
Donations are still coming in, but as of Monday morning, about $240,000 was raised. That's about $60,000 more than what the Relay for Life in Edmonton raised this past weekend.
We're a small town with a huge heart, and I think that what makes us special is we aren't that large of center that we don't know the majority of the people walking.
Team Newcap raised more than $22,000. That's the largest amount of all the 57 teams involved.
Our team did an incredible job this year, and they did it because they had support not just from the other people who work here in the building at Newcap, but we had huge support from Lloyd FM listeners and also from Newcap television viewers.
Last year's event raised about $90,000 more than this year, but organizers say Relay for Life is about much more than fundraising.
When you're able to witness on our opening ceremonies the sea of yellow t-shirts and the family members that are gathered around that picture. It's really, really moving, and it's nice to be a part of, and we continue to do it year after year.
I think spirit was just as high as it's been in any other years because you really had kind of a close-knit community.
2, 1, go!
Kim Smith, Newcap News.